This is Jamey Boyum with the Gregg County Appraisal District with Mark Cormier, who kind of runs this joint, Chief Appraiser right here. So he can answer some questions that people have about their property values. Of course, property values have gone up of late because people are just paying more money for stuff, apparently.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, what is there still help available? I understand the deadline was May 15th for formal protests.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean in Gregg County anyway that it's completely over, right?
That's correct. The formal protest deadline date for the majority of residential property and commercial property was May 15th. We have minerals and industrial and business personal property, which deadline date is at a later date. It's because of the notice of appraised values and when they're mailed out. At this time, you can still come in, even if you're past the formal protest deadline date, and come on in, talk with our appraisal staff to see if there's any issues that we're unaware of. I'll use for an example, if you have structural issues with your house, say a foundation issue, and you have an estimate for repair, and you're past and you forgot to file your formal protest, come in and see us. We can still make adjustments to property values. We can do that up to about early part of July time frame. So I encourage folks, if you still have questions and you miss that deadline date, come see us, talk to us. If you have any comparable properties that sold in your neighborhood in 2022, bring in that information so we can take a look at it and maybe help, reevaluate your property and make adjustments. So there is time for property owners to come in and possibly get some relief. Okay. I also encourage people to, on their homestead, on your exemptions, to take a look at your exemptions status and make sure all your exemptions are up to date. That's property tax relief for all of us, whether it's a homestead exemption for those people that are 65 and older. There's they call it an over 65 exemption that helps property tax relief. You have disability exemptions. You'll have to bring in your rating from the Social Security Administration, or if you are a veteran and you're on a veteran's disability, bring in your award letter from the VA so we give you the proper one. There's different levels of disability exemptions that apply to individuals that do have disabilities, and that's for property tax relief.
Okay, and I guess you let people just kind of walk in, right? You can set up an appointment, or you can walk in and maybe wait a little bit and still get in touch with some of you guys, right?
Correct. I do encourage people to call us. Our phone number is 903-238-8823, and to set up an appointment that's best suits your busy schedule, and we'll get you to talk to the appropriate appraiser on that. Or if you want, you can just walk in. We do take people that walk in. We do notify them that we are busy, and you could wait maybe up to an hour, but in most cases we'll normally get to you within 30 minutes and to be able to talk to one of our appraisers. If you don't know where we're located, our address is 4367 West Loop 281.
All right, and so whether you're had the foresight to set up a formal protest or not, or just coming in to chat, find out some information, what kind of things should people bring with them to see if they can get their property value lowered?
All right, on the residential property, any estimates for repairs we'll take a look at. Not necessarily, we all have homeowner maintenance. The gutters need to be put back up. That's considered homeowner maintenance. But if you have some major issues with your property, like I said earlier, I use foundation repairs. But estimates for repairs go a long way. It says what's wrong with your property and what it costs. Any sales data that you may have, sales comparison, properties in your neighborhood that may have sold. Maybe you have some information on sales data. We do look at, because assessment date in the state of Texas is January 1st. So we look at 2022 sales to say, okay, here's what the market has done. Here's the driven market and why our property values are what they are, which, they've gone up considerably over the last 2 years.
Okay, yeah, and that's a bit of a surprise to some folks as far as that goes. So these are just some tips where maybe you can get your property value lowered. And but you said that this is the way it works in Gregg County. It doesn't work that way in every county, I guess.
Well, every county does work alone. Nowhere in the property tax code does it state that after your official notice of protest deadline date, in our case, for what we call real property, residential and commercial, for the majority of them were May 15th, which was yesterday. The code doesn't speak to whether we can continue to make adjustments or not, but I know most counties do, and in Gregg County, we definitely do. We actually have until the Appraisal Review Board approves the records each year, and that's normally by July 10th of each year. And then that gives us time because we have to certify the appraisal roll by July 25th of each year.
Okay, all right. And yeah, if you want to know more how it completely works, just get this skinny little book and check it out, and you can find out everything you need to know, because this is the thing you guys go by, right?
Exactly. We don't make these laws. It's like driving down the road and that speed limit sign. The police officer that pulled you over, well, he didn't make that law. Hence, legislation makes our laws, and we're governed by the property tax code laws of the state of Texas. And it does state that we have to be at 100% of market value each year. And market's driven by the consumer. It's not driven by your local appraisal district. We do mass appraisal, which is we'll appraise a whole neighborhood as one, knowing that in most neighborhoods, most of your properties are somewhat similar. When you get out rural, you could have different properties. So we're going to not necessarily compare you in a neighborhood. We're going to compare you with similar properties. So, but we look at a whole neighborhood as a whole and going, hey, here's these sales in this neighborhood. Here's what the consumer's paying for them. So, and then all our property values go up. So, but we do take an individual look at your property when you come in and talk to us on an individual basis, such as that's what a fee appraisal does. They just look at your property. So when you come in and talk to us, we're just looking at your individual property at the time and using sales comparisons in your area to go, well, here's what the comparable properties are saying, and are you in the median, which is the middle basically, because there's a range. And so we just, as long as you're in that median area, if you're above or you're over, then yes, we're going to adjust you down.
Okay, all right, good deal. That's quite a bit of good advice there. It's nothing like the Beatles song, Taxman. It's really not like that. I mean, you just come down here, talk to them, whatever county you live in, give them a call, see how you can work with them. Thanks,
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you. Thank you for visiting with us today.
All right, we'll have more later on KLTV 7 News and KLTV.com.